What is going on? My name is Bradley with Allaqcess Sports, bringing you a brand new video for MLB Draftkings April 14th main slate. So this is for that 7 o'clock set of games. We bring you a brand new MLB Draftkings video every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you want all of our plays, you can find me on Twitter. It's down in the description below. We do it for baseball as well as NFL during the NFL season. And now we don't have any spicy intros. We just kind of want to get into this. We're going to be giving you about 5 plays that we really like, build out a potential lineup with that, and then move on from there and just go on with our day. Again, we're not locking in this lineup. To see that, follow us on Twitter and find us on Patreon. That's where we give a little bit more information. Now, first things first, today we have 2 pitchers that I really like. Number 1's going to save you a lot of money. Kyle Freeland. Yes, he does give up hits, but he gets you the strikeouts to compensate. He had 6 strikeouts the last game that he pitched. So 3.2 innings, not great because he didn't really go the distance. 5 earned runs, but he still picked up 6 strikeouts. He is a strikeout pitcher. There's not a whole lot of strikeout pitchers in this low price point that'll get you there. A lot of people saying, hey, maybe we go Zach Greinke. He's never been a strikeout guy. 1 strikeout that he's had in the 5.5 innings that he pitched the other day. So we're going to start things off with Kyle Freeland against Chicago and then Shohei Ohtani against Texas. I know, kind of surprising. Texas put up a lot of points thus far, but Shohei Ohtani, I've got faith. And the next place we're going to be looking at is third base. And I think you're going to have to save a lot of money, and third base is one of those places that you can do that today. The first one we're going to be looking at is Anthony Rendon at $4,100. Doesn't save you a ton of money, but certainly saves you from this top tier area that I don't know if you're going to find a ton of success. Maybe Candelario, possibly Machado, but Morton can be a strikeout king. So I'm looking at Anthony Rendon, who hit a home run in his last game at $4,100 against Dan Dunning. Dunning was supposed to be Texas's savior this year, right? I mean, not really, but he was their pitcher of the year, and he was 5-15. The other one is Justin Turner at $3,900. Let's go ahead and put him there, and that leaves us approximately $4,600 to use at remaining positions. Now the next play is going to come from the outfield, and there's a lot to love up high. So you have Mike Trout going against Dunning that I already talked about. Dunning gave up a couple of big hits and a lot of runs in his first start against Toronto Blue Jays, so Mike Trout is a very interesting play to me. Aaron Judge against Kevin Gausman, another good play. George Springer going up against Severino. Severino does get strikeouts, but he's given up a few big hits. Springer, Giancarlo Stanton right there again. After that, you kind of have a big gap for power. Would be Connor Joe at $3,400. I know there's a big drop-off to get to Connor Joe. But you look at some of his splits, 19, 9, 19, 15. He's putting the bat on the ball. He's hitting .316 on the season. He's 1 for 3. 1 for 3, 2 for 5, 0 for 4, 2 for 4, 1 for 3. When he's getting on base, good things are happening. He even has a stolen base to make things a little bit spicy for us. So I'm going to put him in there because good things happen when you get on base. And for a guy who's gotten on base 7 out of 19 times already in the season, I absolutely love that because that saves us and puts us down here at $3,400 for him, giving us $4,800 for the average player remaining. That means you can go out and chase the big bats that you really want. Now that we have $4,800 remaining per position, we can really get some of those top tier guys that we want. We know we're going to be saving at catcher, so puts us in an even better position. You look at Salvi Perez against Casey Mize at $4,600. That's still going to be saving us money because we have $4,800. No matter where you go, you're basically saving money at the catcher position. Elias Diaz might be my favorite play playing in Colorado going up against Steele. So for now, because we don't know exactly what the lineups are going to look like, we are going to be going with Diaz, but know that I do have a very strong pivot over to Max Stassi against Dan Dunning. I've already talked about Dunning's struggles as the Texas Rangers pitcher so far in the season, but to save even more money, we're going to go with Elias Diaz. Also, I've already gotten a tweet at Brad Emily at Allaqcess Sports. You see it over there on the top of your screen. You can find it. Someone asked me about the high strikeout pitcher. Walker Buehler, most expensive pitcher in the game, is going to be in a very good spot. There's absolutely no denying that. I gave you 2 pitchers over here that are going to be a little bit cheaper, but seeing that we have $5,000 remaining, even if we were to pivot off of Ohtani and go with Walker Buehler, we still have $4,700 to play with. Go back, put in Ohtani, go with Freeland, put in Walker Buehler. We still have $4,300. I'm sure you can find yourself another outfielder that's going to save you money or a second baseman. All right, now that we have given you kind of our 5 players that we're really looking at building our lineup around, because it saves us a ton of money and puts me in spots that are really crucial for first base, shortstop, and outfield today. Second base will kind of fluctuate. We're going to look at these first base players, starting from the bottom, the ones that I'm possibly considering, to the ones that I'm most considering in this one. The one that I would really start considering would be CJ Cron. CJ Cron, a righty going up against a lefty, 11.4 fantasy points per game. It's very early in the season. I get that. It doesn't mean much at this point, but should be worth noting. The one that I want to start going with, though, Freddie Freeman, LA Dodgers going up against Cessa. I absolutely love Freddie Freeman's bat. I think it's time for him to absolutely start popping off in a lineup that should be one of the best lineups in the league. All right, so second base is loaded with 2 players that are going to be playing, or with players that have 2 position availability. So you look at someone like Chris Taylor from this LA Dodgers lineup. He has 2 position opportunity. But the one that I really want to look at this one is Gavin Lux, and we already passed over him. Gavin Lux, 9.8 fantasy points per game. Look at the fantasy point production, 14, 12, 5, 5, 13. Things are happening. He's getting on base, right? He does have that home run. He has a little bit of pop. He's a left-handed batter going up in this one against Cessa. And although we know Cessa isn't going to be the starter for the entire game, San Martin didn't have much success in his first game either for Cincinnati. So Cessa and San Martin, very subject to being hittable. Gavin Lux at $2,900, putting him in at second base for right now, I'm a big fan of. You look at some of the other guys that were at the top. DJ LeMahieu would be an okay play. Ozzie Albies going up against Joe Musgrove. That means that he's going to be hitting from the left side of the plate. Whit Merrifield against Casey Mize. Definitely someone that's on my radar. Cronenworth, Chris Taylor, we already talked about. But those are kind of the names. I think second base, you can save a little money going with Gavin Lux, pending he's the starter. And then we go over to the outfield, and you look at some of the bigger bats. Mike Trout, because we have $4,600 remaining. Mike Trout is an option. George Springer against Severino. Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Judge, we passed over by accident. Mookie Betts against Cessa, San Martin. That whole incident that we've talked about, depending on who's going to be going longer in that game. I would honestly have no problem putting in Chris Taylor, grabbing Mike Trout. Looking at shortstop, we still have $4,100 remaining. And there you have Gleyber Torres, Dansby Swanson. Don't know if I love Swanson. And Nicky Lopez against Casey Mize. Nico Horner going up against our pitcher Freeland. Jose Iglesias, $3,200. And that's going to leave you $900 remaining. You can kind of improve any position that you want. Go back into shortstop. Move Gavin Lux to the outfield. Lots of things that you can do. But one of the things that I really love in this lineup right now is setting it up kind of as is. Let me move it down for you so you can see everything. Walker Buehler, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Justin Turner, Connor, Joe. Absolutely love those guys to get my thing started with, and that's probably where I'm going to be. If you liked anything we said in this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you could, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. The more likes, the more we can share all of our information together. If you have a play that you really love, put it in the comments below. I want people that are actually doing research and coming out and finding these videos to have success. I don't want it to be the guy that puts in 150 max lineups and just auto creates with his bots. I want someone that's going to be taking single bullets, single opportunities like I do, and try and win these things. So this is kind of where we're looking. These are players that I'm interested in. Haven't fine-tuned it. We'll get that out on Twitter at Brad M. Lee or at all_Aqcess_CLT.